Are you guys ready for the show to start? That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ken Sabel.
Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pull the trigger, now he's dead. Mama. Oh shit, is this the comedy stand-up thing? Oh fuck. Shit. Okay, let me start over. My name is Ken, and I'm a clinical psychologist. That's a therapist. And I know what you're thinking, and I'm thinking the same thing. I don't know how I ended up here. You know, when people meet me for the first time and they find out what I do for a living, they say, "Are you going to psychoanalyze me?" And I say, "No, not when I'm off the clock." But I am. Because people are crazy. Let me tell you about the very first patient I ever had. First week. I'm sitting in my office. She's in her chair. She gets up out of her chair. She comes over and she jumps onto my lap and bites my neck. True story. She bites my neck. I didn't know what to do. It was my first day. I didn't know whether to call my supervisor. I didn't know whether to call my wife, my rabbi. I really didn't know. I didn't know what to do. So I ended up calling my wife, and she says to me, was it a nibble or a full bite? Really? She says, did the person know it was your first day? I said, not relevant. And then with a straight face, she says to me, "You know, I think you might need a rabies shot." I mean, this was a traumatizing experience to me. You know, I was looking for some support, and yeah, she can say the strangest things at the strangest times. So I'm at the doctor's. I'm getting a colonoscopy every day, and if you're too young, you don't know what a colonoscopy is. When you're 50, they stick a camera up your butt to make sure you don't have cancer. Okay. And then they send you home with pictures of the inside of your colon, which I laid down on the table at home. And later, my wife is picking up the picture of my colon, and she's flipping through the pictures, and she says, "Ew, gross." Okay, here's the thing. I didn't want to have to defend myself to her or to you, okay? Because I'm fully aware, and I agree that a colon is intrinsically pretty gross. However, 2 hours earlier, my doctor had just told me my colon was rather handsome. Okay? Rather handsome. His words, not mine. Okay. And then he follows up with, "I don't say this to everyone." What the hell? Thank you. My wife later apologized to me, followed with, "Do you like having your colon complimented?" Really? I mean, what's wrong with this person? I said, "Look, you know, the truth is I don't want anybody talking about my colon either favorably or unfavorably." So not long ago, I was driving through and I came across one of those Amber Alert signs. And I had some extra time, and I remembered the model and the make, and the license plate, and I'm thinking, this is amazing. I'm going to look for this car. And so I match up the license plate with the car, and suddenly, all of a sudden, I realize I see a silver Camry, and this is the car. And I get behind the car, and I'm following the car, and I'm thinking, now what do I do? Shit. So I called my wife. And she says to me, I tell her what's happening, I tell her I'm feeling heroic, and she says to me, what are you doing? What am I doing? And she says to me, every car on the road is a silver Camry. Stop following people, you're gonna get shot. Okay, first of all, nobody in a silver Camry is shooting anyone. Second of all, I'm about to stop abduction. And so she says to me, look, Amber Alerts don't work. I've been getting them on my phone, they stress me out, and I am unsubscribing. How did I marry this person? I married a person who's unsubscribing from Amber Alerts. Look, I'm a good person. I help people. When I go for walks in the morning, I always bring a peanut for the squirrels. I let patients bite my neck. I absorb awkward compliments about my cold. And I'm right in the middle of an Amber Alert solving it. So I hung up on my wife, and I dial 911. I tell the woman I'm heading northbound on the 405 freeway, and I give her the license plate, and she says to me, sir, that's the wrong plate. And she says to me, here we go. You ready for this? Sir, stop following people. You're gonna get shot. Thanks for coming out, you guys.
We're going to keep this train going. You guys ready for your next comedian? We got a lovely woman coming up for you. Please put your hands together for Elizabeth Patel.
Movies like Pulp Fiction and Big in the City. One of my favorite memories of being at home alone, I was about 8 years old. I was watching Scarface, and I was diving face first into a bag of powdered donuts, and I remember thinking, Al Pacino knows where it's at. It wasn't always glorious being home alone. I get really bored a lot, and I would just page my dad at work, and I'd ask him, when are you coming home? What's for dinner? Did you know Milky Way wrappers can catch fire in the microwave? At that point, my dad decided I shouldn't be home alone anymore, so he had me go to my friend's houses after school. We were also unsupervised. But don't get excited, we weren't doing drugs or something yet. We were actually sucking lighters, letting the butane collect in our mouths, and then igniting it to create a little fireball, right? I think my dad thought there would be safety in numbers rather than collective security. As I got older, I would start disappearing for 3 days at a time, and I'd always stress out when I come home. I think, can my dad smell the shenanigans on me? Can you smell this? And he'd always just ask, did you have fun? Okay. So as technology got better, camera phones came in, so did my concerns. My dad's getting tabs on me. Sales associates were always pitching him, you can have your kids send me photos of where they're at just to confirm, right? And in my mind, I was immediately planning the entire photo album of pictures that I would need to send him, so that he wouldn't know where I actually was. I see teenagers are unmotivated. Tracking apps became a thing, and my dad got me on Life 360, and he was like, I can see where you are in real time. But Unbeknownst to him, I was actually using it to see where he was, so that me and my friends could stay home, smoke weed, and hopefully air out housing for y'all. And my dad's a little unconventional, and I'm really grateful for him. While most parents were up their kids' asses over every little thing, my dad just had this honesty policy, and he told me, honestly, as long as it doesn't involve lawyers, I don't care. But I still get nervous, you know? Like, one time when I was in high school, having some rough periods, my doctor got me on birth control. Dad found out, and he was like, all right, I guess we gotta have the talk, right? And I was like, we can't just leave this to the public school system. Like, really? Like, not even mom can do this? And he was like, no. I was like, all right. And all he asked was, did you have fun? That was pretty embarrassing, but I think out of all my childhood experiences, the most embarrassing one has been when I was in high school, we went up to our friend's attic, we threw on a horror movie, turned off all the lights. We're watching the movie and I keep hearing like a noise like off to the side, and I'm just like, I can't see, what the hell is it? I'm just staring into the void until the TV turns bright white and it illuminates the entire room. And I am staring my friend dead in the eyes as her and her boyfriend are hooking up. And I'm like, so shocked. And the only thing I can ask is, you having fun? It was so painful. What's been more painful though has been my periods lately. I've been getting this thing called period flu, and basically, it's exactly as it sounds. It's the flu on your period. It's not an actual flu, but this molecule called prostaglandin. Her job is to clean out the basement every 3 or 4 weeks on schedule. But this time, someone's got a bone to pick with her and has told her to calm down. Naturally, she starts destroying the entire house. So, side effects include migraines, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, black cramps, oozing tonsils. I got that one and that was fun. Dry eyes, dry mouth, and the uncanny ability to tell your loved ones to go fuck themselves. My favorite was when the red storm was coming. I tell my dad, I was like, I think it's your monthly pilgrimage to go fuck yourself. And then during the home renovation phase, I'd go find my dad. I'd ask him, did you have fun? And that was it. Thank you.
Well, guys, our next person coming up, he's an introvert who's pushed his way out of his comfort zone. Please put your hands together for David. No! Go, David.
Let's go, David.
One good thing that came out of the pandemic was my company transitioning to work from home. I work in customer service as a phone rep with Blue Shield Medical Insurance. One good thing about working from home is not having to worry about LA traffic. One bad thing about working from home are the people at home and all the My mom will always come into my room unannounced, never knocking on the door. She just comes in. Always have something in their hands. David, can you open this? Handing over a can of pineapples and can opener. Mom, I'm at work. I don't have time for this. And there was one occasion where my neighbor, he was banging on my door. I thought it was the police. I was like, what's going on? So I opened the door, and it was my neighbor Bob, and he asked for a car jump. A car jump? He asked for me to get in my car and then bring my car over so he can get a car jump. I'm like, oh, I'm at work. And I said, Bob, I'm at work. He looks at me up and down and he says, you don't look like you're at work. you have on basketball shorts and the tank top on? And I told them, yes, Bob, this is the national work from home uniform, so please get off my porch. So it was my cousin Robert's 40th birthday, and he wanted to celebrate. He wanted to do something big, so we went to Los Cabos, Mexico. And he booked the room for 2 twin-size beds. We got to the front desk of the Hilton, and the lady says, "Here are your keys to your 1 king-size bed." 1 king-size bed? I'm a straight guy. I'm not sleeping with another man. This is my cousin. This sounds like incest. And at night, I like to hold a pillow while I'm sleeping. It would be really embarrassing if I was to hold him from behind. What's more embarrassing is, what if I wake up to morning wood? A full-on erection, just poking him. That would be embarrassing. So we went to go get coffee. We went to go get coffee, and there was this barista. She was tall, skinny, and a cute Latina. And I wanted to ask her out. So I tapped Robert. I was like, in a witty way, I was like, "Hey, how do I say you are beautiful? Can I take you out?" in Spanish. Instead of him telling me the phrase, he turns to her and says it in Spanish. And I'm thinking, he's hooking me up. He's hooking me up. I'm all excited. Then she says, "Okay, what time? Take my number down." Wait a minute. Did you just ask her out for yourself? And I couldn't help but think that 1 king-size bed wasn't a bad idea. She can sleep in the middle. But the thing is, I took a loss. I took an L, only because she spoke fluent English. The whole time we had a conversation in English, or in Spanish, inglés. All right, so Robert then set up a dinner date, and she was gonna bring her friend. And I said, if the barista's this cute, I know her friend's gonna be cute. When I saw her friend, she was the total opposite from the barista. Her friend was short, plump, but she was Latina. And 2 hours into the date, we was just vibing, we were having a good time. Then my cousin kicked them out. Then they walked off. And I asked them, "Why would you do that? Why would you kick them out?" Because it's gonna be embarrassing to see them at work. They're gonna be working. Similar to a morning walk of shame. You guys know what I'm talking about, walk of shame. I had one walk of shame when I was in college. It was after a fraternity party. It was, the party theme was anything but clothes. So the idea is create an outfit out of anything. It could be saran wrap, aluminum foil, or boxes. So I got a trash bag and I pretty much incisioned 3 holes and wore it like a tarp. Went to the party with a trash bag, no shirt on, and my boxers. And after the night, I got hammered, I got so drunk, all I wanted to do was sleep it off. Safely got home, and then as I got to the door, I started feeling my pockets, like, where are my keys? So here's the walk of shame. I knocked on the door, my mom opened up, she looked at me, and then she asked, "David, why do you have a trash bag on you? Where are your clothes? Did you get robbed?" Thank you, my name is David now.
Sunshine, but please don't tear it too hard or you will get burned. Please welcome Sabrina.
efficient one. If Google Maps says 30 minutes, I can get you there in 15. Would I get you there alive? Unfortunately, that's one question I cannot answer. Only God can. You can ask him when you're praying in it. You know what I'm really good at? Attracting weird men. No, weird is too nice. I mean sex offenders. I understand that I look young for my age, so it's not weird for people to be surprised at how old I am. It's weird when they're disappointed. Like, what do you mean you were hoping I was in high school? Most people don't like remembering high school. I especially don't, because that's when my father died. I hate telling people that because they say shit like, sorry for your loss. Why? Did you kill him? My mom's also dead. Not really. I just wish she was sometimes. It's okay because she wishes I were dead sometimes too. Why else would she repeatedly tell me to kill myself? And then she'd have the audacity to act shocked whenever I would try. Like, I thought you wanted me to listen to you. Despite what my mom may think, I am a good listener. And people love to exploit that. If I could charge for every therapy session I've been forced to give, I could make a comfortable living, especially if I didn't take insurance. People would tell me all about the random bullshit in their lives. Like, I had one friend who would tell me about their childhood trauma, like their parents never hugged them, so now they're touch-starved. I don't like comparing trauma to the man, but I wish mine came from not being touched. I can't really experience anything in life without it being somewhat traumatic, like my trip to France last year. It was a girls' trip with a few friends, and on girls' trips, you either make memories or you make enemies. Oh man, did these bitches almost make an enemy of me? As an American, walking is as foreign to me as healthcare. I realized something on this trip. I hate walking. And that's all I fucking did. So let me set the scene. It's Paris at nighttime. We're at our Airbnb. It's an apartment on the 6th floor. No big deal. Until we get inside. There's no elevator. I didn't realize the French were so primitive. They only have like this spiral, skinny, anorexic staircase. And my friends have 50-pound suitcases they're struggling to carry, and because I love them and because I'm a dumbass, I decide to carry their suitcases for them. Me, who's the same size as the suitcase. So I'm carrying these very heavy suitcases up 6 flights of anorexic stairs, wondering when my vacation is going to start, when the lights turn off. The French can't even make lights that stay on! So I grab my phone to turn on the flashlight. I drop it instead. And I think, oh my God, I'm going to die. I don't know how I'm going to die, but I'm going to die. 2 minutes pass, I don't die, so I get on the floor, grab my phone, hoping it's not a rat, and carry these knee-sized suitcases up the rest of these anorexic stairs, where at the top my friends greet me and tell me that they're tired. I wanted to smack them, but I was too tired. And I just wanted to sleep. I didn't get to sleep. Because one of these bitches, he's snoring. As you can see, I'm not that bitter about it. One thing I always heard about France of brown people. My two friends, they're brown people. One of them, their last name is Islam. Makes it harder to get on a plane. Especially to France. So I came to France thinking that I would be denied seating at restaurants, be called slurs, or maybe even be attacked. But I forgot something. French people aren't racist if they think you're hot. And I'm pretty damn hot. Frenchmen would smile at me, open doors for me, tell me my French was good when it wasn't. I mean, they would also follow me around, but that was okay because they ended up giving me directions and left me alone when I told them my age. I was too old for them. So my advice for a brown woman going to France, buy a push-up bra. My advice for brown men, don't go. Alright, thank you so much.
Female comics coming, you ready for another one?
Is this thing on? Hello. How's everyone doing? Yes, as you heard, my name is Chrissy Hill, and that's actually a new last name for me. Because, you know, that's my maid of honor, y'all. I just got married in April! Very exciting, and other than him being a wonderful, incredible man and everything like that, I absolutely married him for his last name. And freedom from my maiden name. You see, my maiden name sounds like a German threat. Yeah, it's spelled ZS, off to a great start. ZSCHOMLER, and it's pronounced Jonah! And my new last name sounds like something out of a fabric softener commercial. It's just like Hill. So, yeah, the evolution of my last name is basically the plot of The Sound of Music. I really appreciate that upgrade. I really do. But you know, despite my last name being aggressively German, I'm actually more Italian than I am German. Yeah, my mom's family immigrated from Sicily to New York, right? And recently, my mom's mom immigrated from Earth to hell. Yeah. We had a lot of nicknames for her growing up. You know, it's Granny, Gran. Most of us called her Nana. And my favorite was Jezebel. Yeah, you know, despite Jezebel's current residence, she really prided herself on being a strong, biblical, Pentecostal, Christian woman, you know? And even though she prided herself on those things, I feel like from my point of view, I don't feel like she always did Christianity correctly, if you know what I mean. Like, in Christianity, I think if you're doing it well, you're inviting others to church, you're evangelizing, you're bringing others to the Lord, you're being a generally welcoming person. And whether it was intentional or not, Jezebel, I feel, used her Christianity to keep other people the fuck away from her. The example I immediately think of is when she would get phone calls and she'd realize it was a telemarketer. She'd say, "Hello, this is Alina. Do you know the Lord?" And then they eventually stopped calling. So, like, that was a great problem that fixed itself. So, a good struggle for faith, I guess. But, you know, another way I saw
saw her struggle with her Christianity was she committed a lot of idolatry. You know, she really idolized very specific U.S. presidents. Yeah, interesting. I remember she was obsessed with George W. Bush. She loved Abraham Lincoln. In fact, if you approached her house, on her front door, she taped a picture of Abraham Lincoln right there, just to greet you. Went to her door. And one year on the 4th of July, a firework hit her door. I know, and she was safe, and she credited that to the spirit of Abraham Lincoln protecting her. She made sure to tell everyone in our family that. And you know, I can't disprove that logic. I can't argue against it. I mean, like, I don't think there was a picture of Abraham Lincoln taped to the Twin Towers. You know, like, I don't know if Nana was there, maybe things would have been different. Maybe if Jezebel came through. But you know, despite how much my Nana struggled in her faith, she force-fed that holy fear to all 7 of her children. One time I was walking with 2 of her daughters, who were 2 of my aunts, through the mall. And we walked by a Hot Topic. And if you're not familiar, Hot Topics is like very goth, grungy. I think you all know what Hot Topic is. Well, we walked by a Hot Topic, and as soon as my 2 aunts see the sign, they're like, "Ah! Plead the blood of Jesus! Plead the blood of Jesus!" You know, but thankfully the employees didn't really mind. I mean, like, shouting about blood in public spaces is pretty on brand for their market, I would say. So, I mean, I imagine they were probably like, "Plead the blood of Jesus." That's really fucking hardcore. We should get that on a shirt. So, you know. But as traumatized as my Nana/Jezebel's 7 children were by her, one of them, and all my aunts are great, but one of them especially turned out amazing, one of her daughters, and that would be my late mom. Her name is Sandy. She was beautiful inside and out, and I'm very blessed to not have only had her as a mom, but I actually have a carbon copy of her face. Yeah, she looked exactly like this. If you were wondering what my dead mom looked like, it's this. But yeah, so like, you know, as lucky as I am to inherit her face and other traits, there are some physical qualities of hers I wasn't lucky enough to inherit. You know, like my sister, she was so blessed to inherit my mom's giant knockers. Me? You know where I get my boobs from? My dad. Either that or that was the actual reason they called me Little Sandy growing up. Well, thank you so much.
He was raised on the not-so-mean streets of Long Beach. He'll find it funnier than you find him annoying. Please welcome David Rosen!
My name's David. Became a father not too long ago. Married to my human child, not doggy daddy. I was walking out of the grocery store recently and I saw this bumper sticker that said, "My child has 4 paws." These people love to compare their dogs, sort of like they're their children, right? I actually think, people love to make fun of them, but they're spot on. There's really not much of a difference between a dog and a child. I was recently coming home, walking up to the door, and I hear this barking. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then I hear this kind of little barking sound. It's sort of like, whoa, 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 whoa. Both my daughter and the dog are standing at the front door barking at me. I guarantee you with all that noise, they would both be terrible guard dogs. They are both way too easily bribed by food. Speaking of food, my daughter says she loves pizza. She's a liar. She likes cheese. We get pizza, she picks all the cheese off of it, and then she hands me the crust like I'm some human trash can. I'm glad my dog does not give me leftovers because I am not eating any Purina puppy chow. After bath time, they also both love to run around naked and sometimes squat down and poop on the floor. And for both of them, I'm cleaning it up. You also don't know where those skid marks on the carpet came from. Is that real fudge or butt fudge? They also love to just sort of sit down if they don't want to do something. They come up this dead weight. That's where the leash comes in handy. You just give them both a big tug. Also, at Costco, it comes in handy. I can tie my daughter to the cart and let her pull it around like she's an Iditarod sled dog. You ever hear the people compare their dog to their spouse? Why is that? I mean, for a long time, my dog was pretty much my spouse. Always barking orders at me. We also, both my dog and my spouse, they love their spa days. Right? They gotta go, they get their massage, they get their nails done. And on the way home, they both like to stop at Starbucks, okay? Gotta get a pumpkin spice latte for the lady and a pumpkin spice puppuccino for the dog. They also both love to take food off of my plate, and when they do that, they're bitches to me. And both of them love very expensive, genuine gifts. Okay, it's only real diamonds for one, and real Kong toys for the other. But realistically, my dog doesn't do much, right? She doesn't hunt, doesn't hunt anymore. She doesn't work. She just steals the food off of my plate and sleeps with me. There's another person, profession, you would say, who only sleeps with people, that would be a prostitute. Yeah, there's something I'm not going to compare my dog to, though. That would be my mom. There would have been way too many mom issues. On Mother's Day, my wife was texting one of her friends, so she's the best mom in the world that she knows. And I turn to her and I go, aren't you going to text my mom that? She says, well, no, I mean, if anything, she would text her own mom that. I go, well, I don't know about that. For some reason, we moved out at 18, and I lived with mommy until I was 29. Nothing says good mom like your kid's never moving out. But, she talks to this friend of hers who's also a mother because she likes to get advice from her, parenting advice. Everybody thinks, well, they have small children, you have small children, let's get parenting advice from each other. That's a terrible idea. You don't know how that advice is going to turn out. It can be terrible, awful advice. Those kids can turn out totally fucked up. I think you have to get advice from somebody who's raised their kids 20, 30 years ago. That's the only way you can see how that advice turned out. That's why I like to take advice from my own mom. As we're growing up, she would tell us, well, work hard, get a job. That was terrible advice. What she should have told me was buy some Bitcoin and mooch off of me like your sister does. But I think overall I didn't turn out too fucked up. Just fucked up enough to compare my dog to a prostitute. Thank you.
International now. This woman has toured the world and she is not from the States. She is from a foreign destination. So please put your hands together for Kinga Evans!
Yes, it's an increase. And no, it's not the same, it's Russia. I'm part of Gen T for terrific. I do have a pre-existing condition though. I can't drive and talk at the same time. So whenever I'm on the freeway and people are honking at me because I'm slowing down, I just roll down my window and shout, "I'm making a point here." For the past 6 years, I've been a full-time mom, which comes with very, very low expectations. When I tell people that my job is to raise 2 great citizens, they say, "Oh, so you don't work?" As a full-time mom, there's no pay raise when you potty train your toddler. You don't get the phone office if you spend years helping your shy child develop some confidence. The only recognition you might win is if you write your child's paper and the teacher says, "Great job, Zach!" A+. We had a child that had behavior issues. So one morning I said to him, "If you're nice to your friends, afterwards, you go to high school together." So that afternoon, I'm at the gate, ready to pick up my kid with 23 other parents. Mine is the first one to run out. Mommy, I didn't hit anyone today." We also had a very verbal 2-year-old. One day he ran into the bathroom, saw his father shaving, and said, "Daddy, what are you doing to your penis?" He's a cyclist, you know, they shave everywhere. My mom, on the other hand, is a bottomless person. I could call her with the 3 worst news ever. "Mom, my husband lost his job, the dog died, I had a UTI, an IBS, PMS, all in the same time." Still should say, "But other than that, you okay?" Somehow, she's still better than my mother-in-law. And Melinda cannot give a compliment without also offending you in the same sentence. She saw me 6 months after I had my baby, stared me up and down. "So, you lost all your pregnancy weight. What are you now, size 12? Another time, she put her hand on my shoulder, she cracked up and she said, "I just can't believe that my son turned out to be a good dad." I was so confused. Did she think we were going to bond over this? At any rate, I'm always wondering, why is it when you're dating, people tell you, if you have to work at the relationship, then he's not the right person for you. Yeah, no kidding. Because when you have to work at the relationship, we call that a marriage. We all know the saying, happy wife, happy life, happy husband, suspicious wife. Lastly, I want to share a fun fact about Mr. Europe versus a new world. When I was growing up in Pennsylvania during communism, we had some money, but there was no food to buy. In Hungary, there was lots of food in the stores, but we didn't have any money. In America, there's food, there's money, and I'm expected to stay thin at all times. Even when I was pregnant, I don't remember what asked me, "How much weight did you gain?" I'm not judging, I'm just being friendly. I was walking down 2nd Street in Belmont Shore. I was 6 months pregnant. Several women stopped me. "Wow, you must be ready to pop any minute now." So I felt the need to explain. Actually, I still have 12 weeks to go. To which the answer remains across the board by every female person was, funny. Just stand up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for your comedy stylist of Mark Hirsch.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Hirsch. So I'm married, and I actually like my wife. I met my wife at a college party. She was in the middle of this terrible fight with some guy who defended a sexual assault. So all I really had to do was say, hey. After about 10 years, I finally told my wife about some of my superstitions. For example, I had never placed a hat onto a bed. Now, I don't actually believe this is bad luck. That would be absolutely preposterous. But my grandmother believed it was bad luck. Thing is, she never told this to me. It was my mom who told me my grandmother believed it was bad luck. Now, thanks to them, I have the most mild case of generational trauma ever. I don't really care for other people's bathrooms. It's not a superstition, I just know what they do in there. My grandpa liked to play craps, so I thought I'd try that out too. First time playing, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Sounds familiar? Just like sex, if you do what everyone else is doing, you will be, adequate. Now, unfortunately, I didn't quite have that dice throwing technique required. Shit is nothing like rolling for initiative in Dungeons and Dragons. I noticed the guys across are now betting big against me. Finally, I get a little passive-aggressive coaching, I roll the dice, actually hit my numbers, and they storm off. Awesome. Game goes on. These guys were, after this, stalking the table like they're predators in some David Attenborough documentary, just waiting for it to come back to me. This time, they are dropping fat stacks on the table, and they are looking at me with pure hatred in their eyes. I was feeling as tense as that Russian roulette scene from Deer Hunter. Now, I still don't know just how personally I was supposed to be taking this, but seeing the dealer sweep away all their chips really felt good. I've had a gun pulled on me once. In their defense, I was parallel parking and they were in a rush. Years ago, me and some buddies, we took a road trip to Vancouver to smoke their pot. Coming home, the U.S. Border Patrol took one look at us and somehow knew us. So they take us into this little room, and they sit us down and they tell us, we know you have weed. You tell us where it is now, we're gonna go easy on you. At this point, Law and Order's been on the air for decades. There's several different versions of it. This shit is aired multiple times a day. We all knew this was bullshit. Which explains why all of our clothing, possession, and even our CD collection was just spread all over the ground being searched for. A couple hours go by, they finally tell us, we can't find the weed, so you're free to go. Thank fucking God, because our high had really been wearing off at this point. We have about 70 silent miles going by before we finally roll up that shit they couldn't find and started to feel normal. Just really sucked that now all of our CDs skipped. Being interrogated by federal authorities isn't so bad, because sometimes you really get to know who your friends are, and that part was priceless. I'm not super afraid of fascism coming to America. That shit takes a lot of organization, and I'm really happy we do not have that in us. I can't afford streaming services without ads. Unfortunately, these commercials, they don't really seem to understand that specific work of my demographic. If I can't afford the $4 to not see your commercials, I definitely cannot afford that $1,400 pizza oven, custom kitchen, or that brand new, or at least that brand new hybrid electric Lexus SUV. Of course, sometimes I think this might be by design. I've used that phrase, eat the rich, one too many times, and now whenever I want to watch Prime, Jeff Bezos just taunts me with all the things I can't have. One more good thing about my wife, she knows she's bad with finances, so she had the foresight to marry a Jew. Unfortunately for her, that cliche is just not always right, but she stuck around. Thank you very much.
Y'all ready for your next comment?
Thank you. Alright. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm going to get started in just 1 second. I'm currently waiting for the heroin to start taking its effect. I'm kidding. It's fentanyl. Now, I was born in the 90s. To clarify, it was 1999. It's close enough, shut up. Now, what's great about being born at this time was that I was able to use the internet straight out the gate. Didn't have to do a dial-up, nothing like that. People that were born in the real 90s, they'd be like, man, you don't know nothing about the 90s. You didn't have to listen to that dial-up like 30 seconds or even a minute, so shut your face. Like, oh man, I don't need to listen to your floppy disk turning into a hard drive. Listening to that noise for 2 minutes. But, well, some people want to make like desktop and get turned on. So, that's on you. Now, I wasn't born with upper or lower class. It was more like somewhere in the middle. And my mom and I, when I was a baby, we moved 3 times. Which made it seem like we were running from the law. She's from Colombia, so it makes sense. Now, my dad, he was a smart guy. One day, he sat me down, and he told me this. He said, son, always remember, to never take no crap from no one. It's why I quit my job and started my own plumbing business. Now I've taken so much crap from people that I had to make my slogan, "We're full of crap." I told him to take some Pepto-Bismol and he'd be okay. Now one day, he bought me one of those toy cars, you know the little cars that you drive? He got me one of those. So as I'm sitting in it, sipping my Martinellis, as one does, I'm driving it, I crashed into a tree. And it was that day I learned a very valuable lesson. Don't drink and drive. I had to recite my ABCs while walking backwards. Now my mom, she taught me very many lessons as well. Mostly because she was my teacher. Homeschool, that was great. Well, a lot of people like to pick on me and make fun of the fact that I was homeschooled. So I just told them the exact same thing. At least I don't have any bullets flying past me. Pretty good deal. Now, having a parent as a teacher is like an escape room. You got a bunch of problems that you gotta solve. You gotta figure out how to solve them, and, well, by the time you figure them out, you're having a mental breakdown. So, yeah. Now, the food, that was great. Not a single sponge pizza in sight. The prom, no, that was good. The prom was really good. My date, of course, was my dog. No one else would, so I had to groom her. And there was one issue though. I did have to, because I was by myself. Well, first off, I had to cheat on my own test. And when my mom asked if I did cheat on my test, she started to question whether or not I had schizophrenia. Test results, indecisive. And another really kind of bad thing was that I did have to bully myself. I had to steal my own lunch money. I had to throw myself into a closet. There were no lockers. And worst of all, I had to call myself the N-word, which of course is nerd. It's pretty bad. Now speaking of traveling, I love traveling. It's great, it's a great time. I actually traveled on a train for the first time, and I know what you're thinking, train? What is this, 1854? But I thought, hey, it's my first time on a train. This would be so much fun. We all make mistakes. The train ride took 2.5 days, which is weird because it said 3 days. Don't know what happened there. The track's not getting any shorter. America's not folding itself in like a map to get any shorter, to get any smaller. It's not how that works. So, as I'm sitting on the train, I'm thinking, why did I decide to go on a train for 2.5 days when I could have taken a plane that takes 5 hours? No, I'll never know. So I'm having a midlife crisis at the age of 24. I go down to the dining car to get some food. And as I'm heading over to the dining car, the conductor stops me and he's like, "This is for sleeper cars only!" And I'm like, perfect. Now I was just going to eat food and then go to sleep, so it's a win-win. And he looked at me like if I said one more thing, he would turn this train around. So as I'm doing the walk of shame, I go downstairs like a peasant, and I go to this food stand that looks like it's 7-Eleven. We're at a crack house. I had to pay for food? Haven't you taken enough of me already? Why do I have to pay for food? So as we're pulling into the station, I hear the conductor saying, "We are now arriving into the Chicago station." And I think, Chicago, this is perfect. Now I can get shot and be put out of my misery. Thank you very much.
Microphones on? Okay. Better. I have kids, I have twins, and whenever you have twins,
people always want to tell you like the cute story that they have about people that they know that are twins. And they're cute. They'll say things like, oh my God, you know, I know twins and they have their own little language. Or, you know, I know twins and they wear the same clothes. That's cute. Sometimes people just say like weird stuff. Like, oh, this lady was like, oh my God, I know 30-year-old twins and they still sleep in the same bed. Why don't you keep that to yourself? And tell them to keep that to themselves. The only way that that's not strange is if they're conjoined. It's like, dude, get out of my bed. It's like, I can't, we're attached at the fucking nose. How do we breathe and stay alive? It doesn't matter, we're imaginary for this joke. It's just, yeah, it's a weird thing, right? And I feel like even now, like I just experience things as a dad. Things are different now, you know, like there's such a thing now as car safety. When I was growing up, we didn't have that. You know, you gotta buckle kids in. You have to have the seat is attached, harnessed in. They have to be buckled across the chest. When I would get in my Cadillac with my grandfather, you know what car safety was? He was like, hey, you wanna drive? Get on my lap, come on, let's go. We're just in the Cadillac, driving around. My grandma's in the front seat. She's like, you're doing a good job. You want a beer? Go ahead, take it. It's crazy, right? No safety measures whatsoever. Yeah, guys, you know what a wood chipper is? You want to use that? Go ahead, it's in the backyard, knock yourself out. Bring a box of Band-Aids and some sutures, you're fine. You guys will be good. Just any trip, it was, even like just something simple, you know? Like just buckle up, right? My dad's version of buckle up, you know, he'd take the pickup truck, and he's like, you guys, we're going to grandma's house, get in the flatbed. All right, just hang out back there. You're gonna lay down, stay low, keep the blanket tight over top of you. Don't let the suitcases crush you. And if your brother falls out, knock 3 times on the window so we can go pick him up. There's no safety back then. You know what I mean? And also, like things are just better now too. Like when I played Little League, I'm from New Jersey, and we didn't have it as good as my son plays Little League, and it's sweet. Like these uniforms are amazing. Okay, they have real Major League Baseball teams that they're named after. The Mariners, the Dodgers, the Yankees. When I was a kid, the team names were the local businesses. Who are you playing next week? Peter Kuka Real Estate. After that, we got Riley's Towing. And honestly, guys, if you were gonna tank a game, the week after that is the Gambino Crime Inc., so let's just kind of go easy on those guys. Second game in that doubleheader is MJ Murphy's Funeral Home, because they're kind of, you know, covering their bases. It's crazy. They also have just, the uniforms are nice, like they have good hats. You know, they have like a hat that's solid from front to back, fitted, right, with a nice emblem. Our hats were mesh with a big foam front. A big bill, you know, just South Brunswick Athletic Association. They're wearing a local business shirt and a vintage hat. We were like the first hipsters, you know what I mean? Kids are on the bench, and the coach is like, hey, Kevin, get in there. Coach, is this Gatorade, is this fair trade Gatorade? Was the cow that we killed to use the leather for this glove, was it grass-fed? I just want to make sure before I get out there. It's crazy. I feel like, again, and something else that happens nowadays that did not happen when I was a kid was, we have one of those houses where all the kids would come over and play. One of my son's friends came up to me when there's other kids at the house. He was like, hey, he goes, Mr. Mark, can you play with me? What? It's like, is this like the opening scene to Catch a Predator? I don't know how the rules of this work. It's like Chris Hansen gonna come out, guys, leave the boom mics and everything, the camera's back there. I don't want to touch this kid, go play with the kids in the backyard. That's a weird thing. You don't even ask your own dad to play around a kid, let alone somebody else's dad. Somebody else's dad is just he's like an angry, preoccupied stranger. You know what I mean? I wasn't walking in like 1987 going, Mr. Bowser, when you're done with those cigarettes and after you've watched Matlock, can you play tag with me? What? Like, what are you doing? Play with me. I'm like fucking grown. I don't want to run around. It's, you know, I guess it's a different time. Adults are playmates, whatever. Something else I never did, like my kids, when I'm in the bathroom taking a dump, they can't wait to get in there. They cannot wait. As soon as I'm in there, I hit, Daddy, can I come in? It's like, all right, everybody in, let's go. Come on, gather around, you can sit on this, you sit here, and we'll just finish this together, you know? It's a weird thing. But that falls into the category of things that I never say to my dad now. My dad is a 74-year-old Italian guy who's lactose intolerant, but he loves pizza. See what I mean? Like, I'm never like, hey, Dad, I know you just ate an entire slice, but I gotta smell that. Can I get into it? Also, will you play with me? It's weird, right? Generational. I get it from the other side too. Like, my mom's the most clumsy person in the world, and like every time we go somewhere, she falls down and gets hurt. My friend is a professional golfer. Went to go see him play a golf tournament, and within seconds of being there, she trips and falls down. Not like a normal person, but like a crash test dummy, just like arms and legs flailing. It wasn't a hill, it was just like a 1-degree incline. She's like, did you see that? I'm like, no one saw it. There's nothing there, you're just gonna pick your foot up a little bit. Next thing you know, like the tournament stops, the ambulance comes out, and a guy, this dude standing next to me couldn't see what was going on. There was all these people around, and he looks over there, he goes, hey, is that guy all right? I was like, hey, that guy's my mom. And he's fine. All right, thanks a lot.
First and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and supporting live comedy. Without you guys here, we cannot do this. We appreciate you coming out, getting in your cars, paying the fees and everything. We really appreciate it. Live comedy is a hard thing to do, and we do appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause. I want to thank Aaron Hill for helping us put this together. This is his studio. He's decided to let comedy come here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Karen. Love for Mike at the bar. Sally and Penny at the front door. Show them love one more time. I want to get all the comics out one more time, so give it one more big old round of applause. Please come out, Ken. Work with people who are new and just getting in this game. And like I said, you guys inspired me. Thank you so much for joining this with me. You guys show you love one more time.